Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to attempt to look at Diesel. It's been a long time coming. So there he is in his truck mode. It's really cool. I really dig this truck mode. It looks cool. The black and gray looks awesome. I do have a few issues with it. Rolling is not one of them, as you can see. It rolls very well. It does have a good heft to it too. So, my first gripe with this is this piece right here. The base of this piece is part of the big gun for the combiner mode. But this figure came with two of them, one in the box, which fit really well back here. But didn't fit into combiner's hands. So they included a new one that would fit in the combiner's hands, but it feels very loose back here. So I mean, it holds, but it feels like, it feels like it's gonna drop off at some point. So my second issue with this mode is all the panel lines and such. I mean, you can easily see where the creases are, where you take chunks out. There's a big hinge right here, stuff like that. And my last issue with this mode, anyway, aside from visible leg right here, is the wheels. You see the wheels on the front are the same. The ones in the back are not. They're different. They're different wheels, different designs altogether, and I'm sure that's fairly accurate with real life. I'm sure they have different wheels on the back of trailers, but I think it would have looked better if they unified it myself. So for comparison, there is the Orion with the G3 trailer. So let's see if he's all the way back here. Yeah, he's the size of the trailer. So I know in the show they're about the same size in truck mode, but apparently that's just not going to happen here. So you can just see how much more intimidating Optimus is when it comes to the two. So there's that. Put him away. And then there are the completed Stunticons. So yeah, definitely looks cool now that we have the whole set in this mode. I really dig this. I think this looks awesome. So I think that's really all there is to say about the truck mode. So let's get them into robot mode. To start, you just pull this off. This will become a gun later. So just set this off to the side, and then you take this whole section here and you just split it. This is all a combiner kibble. If you want to, you can take this panel here off, and you can actually fit it in here. It's a little finagling anyway. There we go. So you can have a smaller semi-truck. Kind of like a UPS truck, I guess. and then all the combiner kibbles back here. Yeah, we'll get back to this later. There's nothing really on here that's used for the regular robot mode, so excuse me. So this is the actual core robot. So yeah, I mean, it definitely looks alright as a smaller semi. I like it. But to transform him, you want to take this off, split these two apart, and then you collapse this around, and there's one of his blasters. So again, you just take half of that back trailer and you just fold it together. Simple as that. And you got two identical looking blasters, which is pretty cool. I do dig that. And then comes the actual transformation. And this guy is a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. I hate figures like this. You want to take this panel, fold this up. It's the same thing over here. Get that out of the way. And then you can actually take these and just collapse them all the way down like that. So, and you want to try and keep these things out of the way. Come back here, and then you can rotate this piece here in like so. Do the same thing over here. Like so, and then fold this down, and let's start up at the top here. You want to pull these arms up like so. They're ported in down here. Really tight port, so be careful not to break it. So you want to rotate this up, out, and up again. So it's like that. This is how it is originally. So you just kind of like so. And then pull this out, down like so. Rotate this forward. And you want to rotate it at the shoulder, not this piece that's in there, because that's much easier to move. And then you can rotate this down, and you can pull this thing right here straight down, and that'll reveal his hand. And there you have one of his arms. Do the same thing over here. So you pull this out, rotate this up, push it forward, like so. And then this comes up, and you rotate it around, and there's his head. And then this piece will come up and collapse, and there's a plug right there, and the port's in right down there. So you just line that up, like so. And there you have his top section done. Keep these back here. Alright, for the legs, start by splitting them in half here. Fold this down like so. This will come down like this. You want to just plug those together. And okay, so here's one of my first complaints. I have many complaints about this figure, but see how this is designed right here? I mean, that's just two small little plastic ports holding the entire leg assembly together, and it's actually on a really good ratchet joint right here, so you actually have to put a good force to it to move the leg, or to move that piece. And I mean, I don't want to be pushing on something that small with that hard of a ratchet. I think that's just stupid. So, anyway, pull this down like you did before. This will collapse together. You can rotate this around, and this is actually going to end up being the front. So let's do the waist here. Alright, and then here again, you know, the entire waist is on this little tiny itty bitty thing that's got stress marks all over it already. And you gotta rotate this around at this port. So you have to, and it's a really tough joint too, so you have to, don't grab it like right here and turn it, because you're just gonna break it. Grab it all the way up here and turn it that way. It's nerve-wracking to say the least. Okay, fold the crotch pieces down. This is the combiner crotch. I don't think I'm doing this right. Let me try this again. So it goes this way. And then yeah, this will collapse up. Okay, before you do that, you want to, like I said, pull that around. I mixed up which waist to turn. And you rotate the waist at the bottom waist. There's a top waist joint up here. Then there's a hinge. There's a double hinge. And then there's a waist joint down here. And then you rotate this piece. Right? No, I have it right like that. So this will come up like so. Plug in there. As you can see, I don't like this thing. I get frustrated and pissed off at it. It doesn't take long. It's I hate this thing so much sometimes. Okay, so this is supposed to be the front of the legs. No, that's not right at all. Let's see here. Take a look at the handy dandy instructions. Well, I just looked at the picture. So the waist is on right. That's not. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. Okay, so all right. So there is waist swivel up here, right up here. There's a hinge there. There's a hinge there. All this held together by those weak ports. Said that. I hate that. There's a waist joint right here. They'll rotate the whole section around. So like if I wanted to, I can rotate everything around. Then there's one down here at the crotch area, and you want to move that one around. Not the whole waist, just the crotch. Seriously, this is just... And then you fold these things back down, and then once you have those down, that's when you can fold the top section. And these things pop off really easy after the first time. You just do your best not to pop these things off, because once you do, you're just kind of up shit creek, because they could come really loose really quick. When I first had them, they were really tight, but then due to transformation, they popped off, and ever since then, it hasn't been the same. Alright, so now we collapse this waist together, like so. And you can kind of straighten these things down a little bit. Alright, now let's mess with the legs, shall we? Alright, so what you want to do is take this piece here, and right here at the window you can see it's all on one hinge here. And then this is on like a quadruple, see, there's a hinge here, ratchet here, which I don't know why they put a ratchet there, that's just stupid. And then a ball joint. So, I mean, it's all over the place. And you want to, there's a little peg right there that's going to plug into this little slot right there. So you want to rotate this around and just kind of push that in there like so. And then because of this tab, it doesn't really sit very flush. Maybe I'm doing something really wrong, but seems to be the only way to lock everything into place. Alright, and then there's this tab right here. Plugs into this hole right here. Like so. I'm trying to straighten that out a little bit. This piece will come around like so. Doesn't look like there's really any place to plug that in. So, there you go. Do the same thing on this side. Plug this in here. Come on. Come on. Gee, the guy with the big panels hanging off the back is back heavy. Who would have thought? Let me pause the camera real quick. Okay, so let's do size comparison. Well, let's give me this. These guns first. So he's got some pistols there, or shotguns. Here he is next to the Seeker mold. So he's definitely more on the Voyager scale as opposed to like a deluxe scale. Let's see here. Here he is next to his Stunticons. So yeah, there's that. Guess we'll go over posability before we go up the armored mode. Head is on a ball joint. Doesn't get a whole lot of up ability, but he does go down, and the left and right. Now you do have to be careful because there's all these tabs in the way, and it doesn't hit it enough to stop it, but hit it enough that I can see you chipping off chunks of the faceplate. Shoulders are on a swivel up and down, and they can go in and out. If you move this piece up, you guys have a bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, swivels at the hand. Waist, I've shown off all the waist articulations, so I'm not going to go into that. Legs can go up and down, in and out. Swivels, bends at the knee. And then the foot hinges. Alright, now let's talk about my problems with the posability. So when you try to move the arm up here, a lot of times you'll move the shoulder piece or this insert piece here, and then you get it all funked up, and it just doesn't work right. So it's a loose joint on both sides for mine. When this chest piece locks into place, it doesn't lock that into place. So there's nothing holding it together. And then the other big problem I have is like with the elbow here. If you don't move this panel, you're not going to get much posability, or it's going to stop. But if you move it all the way up, then it'll work. But yeah, I guess that's not too bad. But then the knees, you can move the knee. It moves real fine that way. But then when you try and move it back, the whole assembly comes apart because there's nothing really holding this piece together, and it's on such a thick ratchet that it really doesn't like to move. I really do not appreciate that in my Transformers. When they try, I mean, they're trying to make it strong joint, but it's so bad that it's just not worthwhile. And then the feet, because of those tabs there, you can't really get them all that straight. You can get them kind of straight, but not completely. And anytime you try and move them, you get pieces falling out of place, and it's a mess. It's all just a jumbled mess. And then they make it worse for their armored up mode. So what we want to do is take this piece here, and we split this apart right here, and then pull this panel here off, and do the same thing on this side. So, and then down below we pull this piece off, and you can pop these two sections together like so. This piece will come plug in up here, and this piece will plug in right down here. And there's the sword for the combined mode. We'll set that off to the side. And you I'm going to pull these out just a little bit so you can pull this out. And then this piece will just hinge up, and then you fold this piece around. So again, flip this around like so, and then you can put it up like so. Kind of like that. And then we can take this piece, and it plugs into the back here. So you want to do it kind of like that. Pull the hands out. There's a storage option for the hands while you're in this mode. But quite frankly, I don't remember how it goes, and it doesn't really matter because this is the biggest piece of shit armored up mode I've ever seen. So we're just going to set the hands off to the side. So again, you just pull this out, unhinge that, set that to the side. You can pull this up, this flips around. Just like so, maybe. And do the same thing over here. Like so, and then this can, there's just this slot right here that plugs in right back here. So maybe take these guns out. Actually, I'll just leave one. I'll save the combined gun mode for later. You guys can just tell how much fun I'm having with this thing, aren't you? Alright, and so apparently these pieces, you just take this, see how there's that notch cut out right there? And that just plugs on over this notch right here. So you just plug this in. Come on. And then you rotate this around. Yeah, that's a little, makes his arm really, really heavy. Yeah, this is... Okay, and then you take this piece here off the bottom here. Set that to the side. We'll get back to that in a minute. And then this piece again, you just put it over that slot. Rotate it around. Put this back on. And there you go. Okay. And then here you can just flip this piece right here out, and that will form like a little shield. You can plug that right into his hand. Right. Like so. See why I wasn't gonna do this guy, or I didn't want to do this guy right away? Why I was like a little bit intimidated with this thing. I guess that's why they called him an Intimidator. So yeah, there you go. And I'm leaning him up against the back wall because he is incredibly back heavy and just really floppy. So now that we got him in that combined mode, or his armored up mode, we're going to look at the combined mode tomorrow. But so in the meantime, though, I'm going to leave you with an image of all my third-party combiners, or all my combiners. So let's actually set him over here. Move this stuff out of the way here. I'll get some of the commander guys. There he is next to Razor Claw. He's bigger than Razor Claw there, as you can see. Onslaught with the Fansproject upgrades. Onslaught. And Scrapper. And then we'll throw these guys in here. Gonna do a big group shot. And we'll put a Seeker in there too, just because he's here. So you guys get a scale of what everybody looks like together. We'll grab some more combiners. I'm not going to do all my combiners here. That's the question of the day. If you want to see a group shot with all the combiners in individual modes, let me know, and I'll be happy to do it. But yeah, so there you go. As far as the rating goes for this guy, you know, he looks cool in robot mode. He looks cool in truck mode. And he looks like shit in this mode. I hate this thing. I hate armored up modes. They're horrible. You know, usually you get some sort of big jumbled mess with it. And that's what we're looking at here. It's just a jumbled mess. Fansproject just kind of pushed another mode into him. And he already had 3. You know, vehicle, robot, and combined. So to add an armored up mode just really doesn't work for me. It looks like shit. It's terrible. It doesn't hold together very well. You guys have seen, and then for the figure overall, I mean, I pointed out my problems. You know, the waist points. I mean, there's like 4 different waist joints, all of which you have to utilize during transformations, and they're so fragile. With that little that little piece of plastic holding it all together, I'm really afraid that it's going to start breaking. You know, the shoulders don't hold it up very well. The knees and feet are just a joke. For the price of this figure, not counting the combined mode, I'd say easy pass. He's about $150, and by far he's probably he's probably one of the worst commanders I have, and that's including this piece of shit over here. Did you see where I was pointing? Yeah. This guy back here. And this guy here. These two are just shit, but he's so much worse. I cannot recommend him. I'm giving him... I'm giving a 4 out of 10. I have to. Just because he looks cool after you fiddle with him for... I mean, this video is going on 35 minutes now. Something like that. And... you know, all of that was fiddling around with the damn thing. So I cannot recommend him. He's not he's not worth it to me. You know, maybe that's just me. You know, you guys will probably really enjoy him, or you might really enjoy him, but I don't like it. So next up, we're gonna take a look at the combine mode for him, and see if that's any better, makes this whole purchase altogether worth it. So. Oh, screw it, I have a few minutes. Let me just get all the combiners out here real quick. Here's the rest of the Unique Toys Predaking. Really should put him closer to the back. Here's the other two of the Rurikis with the Fansproject add-ons. Here's the rest of Generations Fall Cybertron Bruticus. Who are giving me a really hard time standing because their joints are loose, because they've used this mold way too many times. Alright, so there are all my combiners in individual modes. So, pretty cool. I do dig that. And Diesel here is still the biggest of them all, which I guess is kind of cool for him, but mostly that's the add-ons making him look a lot bigger. So I'll be getting all these guys into combine mode before we look at his combine modes. That once we do, we've got all the sorry, my camera just kind of froze. But yeah, that way we can have all the combiners put together and compare all of them. So yeah, that was a look at Fansproject Diesel. I know this video was really long, and we still have another video to go to get them done, but I guess that's just the way things go, really. So yeah. And then, like I said, question of the day was going to be if you wanted to see these guys all put together, or all in a group shot. So, but you get it anyway. So it's pretty cool. Most of them were Decepticons. So anyway, I guess that's it.